Well, time for business now, and Kate Moody joins me. We're starting with a financial crisis that's brewing in Zimbabwe, where banks have imposed limits on withdrawals, Kate.
Yeah, the central bank has announced that it's capping withdrawals at $1,000 or 20,000 South African rand. Now, some banks don't even have enough money in stock to ensure that. They're limiting withdrawals to about $200. Remember, Zimbabwe's government abandoned its local currency and adopted US and South African currencies back in 2009 because inflation had spiraled out of control, peaking at 231 million%. This week, the central bank also announced it would start printing its own version of the dollar, bond notes that will hold the same value as American bills. They'll be introduced gradually over the next 2 months. The moves have led to huge queues outside of banks, where people said they were anxious and frustrated.
We've been waiting here for almost 5 hours. We've been giving a limited amount up to $400.
From now on, I will keep my money at home because it's become too difficult at the bank. We've lost all confidence in the banks.
We're also expecting to see some travel disruptions in Greece, where unions have called for a 2-day general strike. That's beginning today, is it, Kate?
Yeah, these protests coming once again over government efforts to reform the economy and cut down on spending so that Athens can receive the next round of bailout funds. That international aid won't be released until EU and international creditors give the green light to reforms that are already being put in place. That review has been dragging on since October. This weekend, the Greek parliament is set to vote on still more changes to taxes and retirement benefits. Delano D'Souza has been taking a look.
A showdown is brewing once again between Greece and its creditors. The country is seeking a €5 billion tranche of its bailout, needed to repay loans from the ECB and the International Monetary Fund. But creditors want changes made before the money is handed out. Faced with more unpopular measures, unions have called for a 2-day general strike. Changes debated in Parliament include a national minimum pension of €384 a month. Taxes could also be hiked up for higher income earners. Those earning over €3,300 a month may soon wind up paying 50% in income taxes, up from the current 38%. Value-added tax could also gradually be increased for hotels. Workers in the tourism sector fear layoffs and a drop in wages.
The government makes all these budget cuts and these taxes are making us go crazy. Life is becoming more and more expensive. The best thing they can do is leave us alone.
Terrible, terrible. Put simply, the situation is terrible. Salaries are down, but they want to raise taxes.
The Greek parliament is expected to vote on the new austerity measures before Eurozone finance ministers meet on Monday.
Let's take a look at the markets. Now, Asian markets heading for their 9th straight week of losses. The Shanghai down about 1.9%. They're just a little under. The Hang Seng also down more than 1%. The Nikkei resuming trade after a 3-day break. The Kospi in South Korea is closed this Friday. Investors around the world are waiting for U.S. employment data for the month of April. That's going to be released later this Friday. The number of jobs added or indeed lost offers a glimpse into the health of the world's largest economy. Plays a key role in the U.S. Federal Reserve's decision about when to raise interest rates. Economists expecting about just over 200,000 jobs to have been added in the month of April.
All right, Kate, moving on. In the US, authorities are to begin regulating the e-cigarette business.
Yeah, these new rules to come into effect in the coming months. And they'll basically treat those e-cigarette products like traditional tobacco. Sales prohibited to those under 18. E-cigarettes will also have to be submitted to the Food and Drug Administration for approval. They will also eventually be required to carry some kind of health warnings on both their labels and in ads. Products are seen as being marketed to young users because they often come in different flavors. Last year, 16% of American high school students said they had used e-cigarettes at least once a month, making them more popular among American teens than traditional cigarettes. The European Union, of course, also taking similar steps. Just this week, the European Court of Justice upheld efforts to require that cigarettes be sold in plain packaging, also allowing regulation of that e-cigarette industry.
Right, on to a story which is difficult to believe, I suppose. The fast food chain KFC is a new take on the slogan, finger licking good. Tell us more.
Well, that's its tagline, under this Kentucky Fried Chicken, finger looking good. And they have now launched a new line of lickable and even apparently edible nail polish, only for their Hong Kong customers. Now, it might sound like just a publicity stunt, but it is apparently real. The PR firm behind the campaign saying it's designed to be intriguing and fun to increase excitement around the brand in Hong Kong. Now, this new nail polish comes in 2 flavors, 2 colors, original and hot and spicy, and apparently it tastes just like chicken.
And do you plan on wearing some, Kate?
I don't think I'm going to take a special trip to get my hands on it. No, not quite yet. I'll see what the response is, if they get a good buzz.
Yeah, people perhaps buy chicken if they're hungry. That's it.
Exactly.
Edible nail varnish, I'm not too sure. All right, Kate, thank you very much for the business roundup for us there.